All right, guys. So in this guide, in this module, we're going to talk about flipping homes. Okay. And what I want you to do is I want you to get familiar, and you should have read through the whole entire guide. And I want you to get familiar with a few terms. So I want you to get familiar with ARV, okay, your after repair value, and the 70% rule. So your after repair value. So when you're finding a house to flip, okay, so you've identified a property on realtor.com, or a family and friend referred you a property. You have to figure out what the after repair value is of that property. And there's a lot of different ways you can figure it out, but just a simple way you can figure it out is you could just utilize like realtor.com. And I like that because it syncs in with the MLS, the multiple listing service that all realtors have to use when we do business, when we input data on properties that we've sold, properties that we're listing. And if you look in a close vicinity, 5 to 10 mile radius, at all past homes that have sold and homes that are selling in the area, you can look for a term. And like I said, I'll take you through this. Don't let it bother you too much. Price per square foot. So let's say you have a house on A Street, that's for sale, and you can't figure out what it's potentially worth. Just go back and look at all the past sales in the area and calculate what that price per square foot is. And if that price per square foot is $125, then if your house is 1,000 square foot, then you can roughly say that 1,000 square foot at $125 a foot. You just multiply that by each other, you come out with $125,000. So that's a simple way at how we calculate an ARV. You can also partner with an experienced licensed realtor, and they can teach you also how they come up with the after repair value or the listing price on what they put properties on the market. Okay, but that's a simple way. Now, with the 70% rule, what this says is that you don't want to invest no more than 70%, okay, of the home's after repair value in the renovation cost and the cost to purchase the property. So, for example, if a home is worth, the after repair value is worth $100,000, okay, that means that you can invest no more than $70,000, because the 70% rule of the ARV, if the ARV is $100,000, 70% of $100,000 is $70,000. So if you've partnered with your general contractor and y'all have went to look at that property, okay, y'all went to look at it, and he says, man, it's going to cost $50,000 to renovate this house and get it ready. So if we're operating off the 70% rule, $50,000 is 50% of that. So you only have 20% left, because remember, we can't go over 70%. So if the contractor gives you a $50,000 bid and the ARV is $100,000, then you only got $20,000 to pay for that house. So that's how we determine how much we pay for a flip property. Okay. So I want you just to digest that for a second. 70% rule says that you can pay, okay, no more than 70% of the after repair value. And that's going to be the cost to buy the house and the cost to renovate the house. And there's a good example right here in the book on page 72 that kind of walks you through that process. Okay. So I'm going to, let's see, back out a little bit. And let's see something right quick. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to play around with the after repair value right quick. So let's go to realtor.com. Okay. And I'm going to take Ruston, Louisiana, and let's go to Rose Garden Street. Okay, so that's the street that I live on. So I'm going to take this, and what I want to do is try and look for some properties that have recently sold. Okay, so we're going to make this extremely simple. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay, let's go for. Hold up. Okay, let's go to. I'll pick an address. 53 Rose Garden Street, Ruston, Louisiana. Okay. All right, so just give that a second, let that come up. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, just bear with me just a second. It's taking a little while to come up, but I want you to really understand this. All right, so here's 153 Rose Garden Street. Okay, so off-market property, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot, and this is on Realtor.com, guys. So estimated value $222,000. Okay, now what I want you to, let's go to, all right, we're gonna go down. So see, in Ruston, it gives you, if you go all the way down, it gives you the listing price medium, so 276,000. List price square foot medium, so that's the price per square foot that I was talking about, $150 a foot. Okay, so if you go through there and kind of play around with the data, it gives you all kind of data. So all right, so listen, it also gives you comps for your area. So as you can see, 149 Rose Garden, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500, so 1,315 square foot. Okay, so if we play around with that number and we go, and we'll just do some basic math. Okay, so if we go 1,350, no, we go 199,000 divided by 1,315 is $151 a foot. Okay, so I want you to understand how I came up with that. I took 199,000 and I divided that by this 1,315 number, square footage number, and that spit me out $151 a foot. So if this was your area where you were trying to calculate ARV, you would take that $151 a foot and you just multiply it by however many square footage you have. And whatever value that gives you, then that'd be very close to your after repair value. So if this doesn't, if this is real complicated, message me, okay? And I'll take you through this scenario a few times. But just if you play around with it yourself, I promise you that you will get, extremely comfortable with playing around with those numbers, guys. But here's that section. Go through the book. Really pay attention to the data, and you got to get on realtor.com and you got to play around with these scenarios to really understand it for yourself. But that's just a high level overview of this module on flipping houses. Okay, hope it helps.